everybody. Hope you are having a wonderful start to your day, your afternoon, or your evening. I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul today. I've got Master Saint Germain with me on the discussion of the idea that you are freedom. He came to me this morning. He said, people are after this thing called freedom. And what they have to understand is that that is what we are. And we're going to get into that a little bit more with him, with some questions and answers about that as well. But I'm just going to share this video out here. Yeah, lots of wonderful things happening on the planet today, folks. I hope you're getting into it. I hope you're really enjoying every single delicious moment of your life. It's something that we all need to learn to do. Let's see, there we are. Let's see, paste that here. Wonderful. So, you are freedom. You are freedom. It is not something to be pursued in this world. It is what you are in this world. And it is what you need to remember that you are. Too many of you are in this world seeking the freedom that is you from the things of this world, when you are here as freedom to add more of that to the world. Yes. When he speaks, his energy is so beautiful, like this. I guess this is the vibrational energy of what I would call violet fire, what he calls a violet fire, which is an energy he uses. It's a frequency of energy. The violet fire is a frequency of energy that he uses that literally transforms and transmutes negative energy, right, from one state into another. And you've often heard us say, you take this glass of water and you put the energy of heat at this water, and you can turn this water into steam. You can transmute it from this state into another, as you could add the vibration of cold to this water and transmute this water from one state to another. One is a higher vibration of energy, one is a lower vibration of energy. And the violet transmuting fire is a higher vibrational energy. Each and every one of us has access to this energy. We have access to all spectrums of energy with what we are. We are freedom. You have the freedom as freedom to align yourself to higher vibrational energies or lower vibrational energies. You are free to align yourself to whatever you wish to be. This is the ultimate freedom granted to individual consciousness. The right to be free is what you are. It's not something you acquire from the world. Someone's not going to give you freedom. It's what you are. It's what we all are. In learning how to transform or transmute energy, especially using what he calls the violet fire, this higher vibrational frequency, I would liken the vibration of like, I'm trying to think of a comparison between the vibration I'm feeling of violet fire and the closest is love. It's a vibrational frequency of love, which organizes energy into its perfect state at that frequency. But he's saying also there are higher frequencies too. But for this planetary system, the violet fire, from his perspective, is the most effective tool for being able to transmute or transcend negative energies into a higher expression of divine expression. So I'm just asking now to be more clear about the concept that you are freedom. In the essence that you are able, in the essential understanding that you are able to choose freely what you will think upon, what you will dwell upon, what you will express. From that perspective, you are absolutely free without question. But to know that you are free, that is what you are. You are free. You are that which you seek. To know this and understand its application in the expression of your being as freedom, because you are free, you are being as freedom, and to understand how to express The vibration of your being as you are freedom into and onto this world is the manifestation of your expression as what you are. So you may come up to somebody who is in pain and suffering, and you may offer them your love, and their energy will change. Much the same way as many of us that come here through this one here extend our energy to you, and you can feel a change. And the change is merely that you are at a slightly different potential in perceptual reality than we are, and we simply extend a vibrational frequency that adjusts yours slightly. But do not make the error in assuming that because we extend energy to you, that you are in any way, shape, or form less than us. We are simply reminding you of that which you are. And if you are able to take ownership for the changes in your energy, in your light, in your state of being, if you're able to take full responsibility for that, then you will recognize the gift and begin to extend it to others. Then what you receive and what you give will be the same thing. For you can only receive what you give, and you can only give what you receive. But you are also free to change and alter. You are free to change and alter what you give and what you receive by the nature of understanding who and what you are as this vibration that we give the label of freedom to. The word does not adequately describe the nature of your being. The word does not adequately describe the nature of your being. For the nature of your being is greater than the word, but you yourself can take that which you are being and make it flesh. You can make the word of your being, the consciousness that you are, into flesh, the expressions in this material world. And these expressions may be good, and these expressions may be bad. You are free to choose whichever you will align yourself to. It is important to get yourself into the state or condition where you are deliberately and intentionally and consciously doing so. Yes. Um, he's saying, if we walk down the street, and when you're walking down the street, do you walk down the street radiating a vibration of love? Just, he's saying, just as an experiment, do that. Like literally, go down the street and radiate a vibration of love, just as an experiment. Radiate a vibration of love and observe what happens. And do that consistently and repeatedly and observe what happens. If you haven't done this before, then do it today. Walk down the street and deliberately radiate love. It's a funny thing, because whenever I've done that, I'll often find myself with my body with this big, huge smile on it, because the energy of love causes changes instantaneously in physiology, just as the energy of fear does, or the energy of anger, or the energy of excitement, or curiosity, or playfulness creates changes in physiology. So when you start radiating love, it's a very fascinating thing. Even just smiling at people, on just that basic level of smiling, people respond to that energy. And when more of us start to become more, especially during this ascension process, as more of us get aware of our ability to do that, we become, yes, he's just saying, we become transformers of the world instead of being made by the world. And this is what you came here to be, become a transformer of the world, so that you would know who you are and delight in what you would create here with the nature of your being as you are. With the nature of your being as you are. And it's funny, I get my heart just opens wide hearing those words from him, because the nature of who we are is indescribably wondrous, yet deliciously, something you can experience. I can actually experience the deliciousness of who you are being, and it's not a taste. It's a vibration. It's an awareness, and literally, your heart can open. When we work with these higher vibrational beings and everybody on this planet that are seeking mentors and guides and teachers, all of you, all of us that are seeking to understand more, to be better, we are literally seeking to raise our vibration up. And what he's trying to communicate is that the nature of who we are is the very thing we're seeking. We are that, the wealth, we are the prosperity, we are the joy, we are the healer. You know, we are the very thing that we're seeking to try and acquire from this world. But the more we try to acquire it from the world, the further away you move from who you are. When you don't need to go into the world to know who you are, you just have to come into being what you are, and then allow yourself to extend that to this world, to allow yourself to extend what you are to the world, to become conscious of what you are, to be intentionally, deliberately conscious that you are freedom. And in the articulation of its meaning, freedom means you can express your being, your energy, as you so choose to. There will be no judgment as to what way in which you express that, but there will always be effects to the expression of what you choose to be. You may be freedom, but you may also be fear. You may also be anger. You may be playfulness. You are free to choose, and each of these expressions of the limitless self have causes and effects in the individuation of your consciousness while in that physical body that you get to experience. You get to experience the effects of what you are being in time and space. And many of you from lifetimes have forgotten that truth. And you may find yourself in a lifetime where you are in pain. You may find yourself in a lifetime where you are in poverty. You may find yourself in a lifetime you were wealthy beyond imagination, and may have forgotten the very nature of your creative process that led you to where you are now. But right now, you are in the position where you may consciously choose, and the energy, the vibrational energies, are being transmitted to all of you from a higher frequency, that you may enable yourself to remember that you are articulating the manifestation of your existing conditions, and that you are able to articulate changes in those conditions through an act of your conscious state of being, a vibration of intent, of clarity, of consciousness, of deliberateness, deliberately choosing everything that you want to express and be as the vibration you wish to see in the world, to be that which you wish to see in the world. And if the world you are seeing is not the world that you are in harmony with, then you must align yourself more diligently, more consciously to that which you already are. In truth, there is no need to align yourself if you could but drop your preconceived notions of what you remember you think you are supposed to be, or try to remember what you think you might be, but to recognize what you are in this moment, to recognize what you are in this moment. You are freedom. There is no before, there is no after, there is now, and in now is where you are. And in where you are is freedom of being what you are. And the choice, therefore, to create what your being will experience as a material reality. But the two are not separate in any way. Your being and your form and your world are exact representations of one to the other. And if you change what you are being, then you will change what is in your world. And many of you have already experienced evidence of this. You can see this unfolding very quickly on your planet. In truth, we watch you always. You call on us and we transmit light to you. We transmit the higher frequencies to you, and you receive them. And then you begin to articulate them. And then things begin to change Do not be attached to the appearance of the change, but be connected and mindful of what it is you wish to your experience to be as a vibration, from the perspective of being aware of what it is you are being, the vibration of love, the vibration of joy, the vibration of freedom, whichever it is that you have chosen, then know that that will come to pass, that all else that is like that shall be swept away. The water has no choice in the issue of what will happen to it when we apply the higher vibration of heat to it. It has no choice, nor does this world have any choice when you apply the vibrations of love to it. But you may also apply the vibrations of fear to it. And there's no judgment. Each will organize the conditions of your matter differently according to the nature of the vibration, which you, as the consciousness, are able to articulate intentionally and deliberately. Intentionally and deliberately, you can articulate. You can articulate what it is you wish to see as your experience in this world. And then that which you see is what you be. Mm-hmm. uh, yes. There's so many beings on this planet with us right now. Like science knows, I mean, science is known for decades now that we only see a small percentage of the visual spectrum with our eyes. We only hear a small percentage of the auditory spectrum. We, when we learn to change our perception of consciousness, when we learn to change what we perceive with our consciousness, there's realms of angels and archangels and multidimensional beings, and there are Davic creatures. There are frequencies that you don't see or hear or even can physically interact with, because the frequency of matter is different than the frequency of non-matter. And when you understand that principle, you begin to understand why how different waves, different potential frequencies can cross each other without canceling each other out, because they're at different frequencies. Yes. And so understanding that there's these different dimensions and learning how to attune your awareness to different frequencies of energy gives us all the opportunity to literally start redesigning this world rapidly. And that's what's happened. You're seeing a rapid change in the manifestations on this planet. It's why so much has happened in such a short time frame. It's not about COVID-19. It's about a change in consciousness that's being instituted from many levels, not just from our biological level. Our biological level perceives it a certain way, but as a soul, as an awareness, as a being, as a vibrational consciousness, it gets perceived very differently. The way, yes, he's saying the way he perceives physical matter is very simple. It's no different than him opening and closing his hand, as you would say. And it really is it's that easy for them on this dimension. If they were here, they know how energy works. They know that certain things they think will cause certain effects. They know certain things they do will cause certain effects. And we're just waking up to that. We're just now playing around with the full spectrum of that. Wow, we can, as a species, we can collectively think a certain way and create very specific results very rapidly. One little fear thought created this whole unfoldment. What a creation. Isn't it amazing that in literally a few days we can literally change the whole world economy because of one little fear? Yes. He's saying, imagine when you are able to collectively agree on the idea not of fear, but the idea of love. What then would you see? And how quickly would it be if they declared that love was a greater expression of your society than is the things that you fear? What would you see then in this world? You don't know, because it has not been seen on this planet for many, many centuries. The vibration of love as the dominant manifestation of your social and political will. This is something that we are here anticipating your embrace of, for you can clearly see and experience the effects of fear, but you can equally experience and see the effects of love if you also choose to engage in that reality consciously. But many of you follow rather than lead. And so it's important to understand what it is you will follow and what it is you will not follow. In the coming months, you will see the opportunities again will present themselves to choose one expression of your being over another. Freedom is not something you obtain from this world, it is what you are. But you must choose to know that you are this, as equally as you are free to choose to accept the world's interpretation of what it thinks reality is on your behalf. But we would highly recommend that you become free again in your own consciousness to decide the reality that best suits the expression and meaning for your being in this world. And you may align to many others thusly. Wow. You are freedom. You are freedom. We are freedom. It's what we are in our nature. We are freedom. Yeah, no. We are free. We are free to suffer, and we are free to be living in bliss. We are absolutely free in what we can choose to be. And we're at this point now where we're going to consciously choose. But in order to consciously choose, I remember, children, when they're told, don't touch the stove, it's hot, right? And until most children end up touching the stove and getting burned, um, and now they know what hot is. Well, we can clearly see, and we have repeatedly seen over millennia, what happens when we indulge in certain things. It creates suffering. And we can also see over the millennia when we indulge in certain things, it creates prosperity and joy and community and unity. And now we have to collectively come together as a species, as a whole, in a decision about what it is where we want to go forward to. What do we want to be as an expression? And it starts with each of us choosing to be free, to align ourselves to ideas, conceptions, behaviors that represent who we are. And the behaviors of love are very different than the behaviors of fear. The thoughts of love are very different than the thoughts of fear. The actions of love are very different than the actions of fear. And it's by your fruits that you will know them. You can know what is fear and you can know what is love, and everyone does. Yes. He's saying there is no exception. Even even what you call uh, those who suffer the most on the streets, even they understand the difference between fear and love at their level. And all of you do. You all know the difference between fear and love and what it does and what it doesn't do. And if you embrace it, if you embrace love or you embrace fear, you will experience very different things. And you know this. This we do not need to remind you of any more than this, but you always have this choice. And you may do it yourself, or you may elect to follow someone else's encouragement about what is true and what is false. You are completely free. You are freedom. And in that, we would not attempt in any way, shape, or form to restrict you, but we will certainly express our true nature. And in our knowledge of what we are, we know that certain things will unfold as a result of our energy. And the difference from those who know and those who do not is the effect is more pronounced and lasting when it is executed deliberately and consciously and intentionally. And so we hope that you will choose to deliberately, consciously, and intentionally be that which you are. You are free. Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. Wow, we will take take some questions now and see where this goes. Thank you guys for showing up today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to come and join me here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for Shortcuts for Your Soul. It's it is a time on this planet where we see so many things changing, and I can't help but be delighted at the opportunity for all of us and for each of us, and that no matter what we end up manifesting or manufacturing, that it's all okay in the end, because we are in a conscious creative process. Matter, time, and space change according to the nature of what we are being. And when you understand that, you don't have to be too attached to how this is going to change, because you can literally manifest yourself as an awareness into a different reality. And many people are doing that right now. There are a lot of people that are literally manifesting themselves into completely different realities. Um, and there are people that are transitioning out of the world that are creating a different reality. And there's beings coming into the world to transition a different reality. And there's no right or wrong. There's just the process, our process of being, right? That's what we're all. We're on a process of being. So I hope you're enjoying it. Wow. Just gonna go over here. Wonderful. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful and a joyful day today. Hi, Daniel. Any messages? Daniel's asking, is there any messages for spiritual growth or health? I believe that was just transmitted from Master Saint Germain, which is amazing. His energy, like I just feel like I cannot describe. It's like this pulsing energy. This is the feeling of the violet fire to me. It's just this pulsing, transmuting, uplifting, inspiring energy that he's saying he's transmitting to all. He's transmitting to all that are open to receive it. Uh, he's saying become the glass of water. He's saying be like the glass of water. Receive the vibration. Receive the vibration, and then know that you have requested this in order that you remember what you are. For in truth, it is not something that I give to you, but something you receive in recognition that it is you. I love that. Uh, Hello from South Africa. Um, Wonderful. Just going to scroll down and see if we've got any questions. Wow. Um, Question from I am. Any messages for me as I integrate these teachings? Um, he's smiling and he's saying, as you integrate these teachings, do not simply integrate the words or the ideas or the conceptions, but integrate an awareness of the vibration that is you in that which you perceive. Recognize that you are the very thing that you are integrating. Recognize this, and you will remember that you are the cause of the effect that you are experiencing. Thank you, I am. That's a wonderful, wonderful statement. Um, Question from Danielle: how feeling free can match the forced wearing mask? Um, that's a great consideration. It's a choice. Really, like right now, it's a choice if you're going to smile. Yes, yes. He's saying when you truly know that you are free, when you are freedom, then there will be no influence in this world that can stop you from being what you are unless you allow it, unless you surrender to that, in which case you are choosing a different state of being. And you cannot blame the world, but you can choose to be that which represents who you are more deliberately. You may find greater freedom in a smile than you will in a frown. Of this you can be sure. We know what happens as your being makes that body smile. We know what you are doing when you make that body smile. To make your body smile, you are being something else. To make your body stone faced, you are being something else. And this is what you have choice over. You are freedom. You are free to choose this. Will you smile? or will you frown? You are free. You are freedom. It is not something that you have to acquire. It is something you must be, and you are anyway. We say must from the perspective that you believe something else is true. Um, a question from Bogumila. I just got myself an apartment, but then a fear and anxiety got over me to live by myself. Any guidance and courage, please? Wow, he's actually jumping up and down and saying it is it is yourself that you are afraid of, all of your greatness to be that which you are. Remember what you came in this world to be. Do not be afraid of yourself or the limitations that others think they should impose on you. When you throw off the yoke, when you threw off the yoke of your past, surely you must have known that you would be free. But even the one that is enslaved will find some fear initially at being liberated. And this is normal to be experiencing a little bit of fear in the face of your own magnificent creation of liberation. Do not fear this fear, but ask yourself, what can I be now? How can I be now? And you will find when you decide those things how much freedom you truly have. Hmm. Great question, Bogumila. Thank you so much. Um, wow. Amazing day. Amazing, amazing, amazing day. Um, oh yes, I want to remind of my Patreons tonight. We have our Patreon live event at 7 p.m. every month. Our my Patreons and I have a meeting on the seventh day of the seventh month where we do a live. We bring our guides and our angels together, and we do a live 1 hour event on my Patreon's page. It's an amazing experience. If you want to support this channel, please become a member of my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. Additionally, you get to ask a question of your guides and your angels once a month, and that all comes part of your patronage. You get that perk. And occasionally, we do additional days. We'll do a special surprise event. They'll tell me if they want to do a special surprise event. So I invite you to come and become a member of our Patreon page. And again, you guys will all receive a link today as to where the meeting is going to be held. I'm excited about that. It is as they said it would be. Okay, question from Magical Buddha. Is this a spiritual universe, channeling spiritual energies through all beings? It's interesting that you phrase it that way. He's saying, no, it is just one great creation. It is one great creation with infinite experiences within itself. If you want to phrase it in that language as you have, then you could say that that is true also. For you get to decide the experiential nature of your being as an individual, as do all beings, as does the one being. Cool. Thank you. Wow, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. Yeah, it's really interesting just to take that in from him. Like I'm literally, I can't even describe the sensation on my body, but if I had a cloak of light right now, it would be violet. It would be a cloak of violet energy surrounding my body. Just yeah. And when you take that in, when you breathe that in, something amazing happens. When you take a higher vibration deliberately and consciously into your body, it changes the body. Well, I think we're very close to completed today. Um, Congratulations, by the way, Bogumila, on the new apartment. So, also, I want to ask everybody in the questions and comments section of this video, please leave a note or an idea about what you would like to see us bring forward. Are there specific beings that you'd like us to bring through? Let us know so that we can mix things up a bit. We want to. They're telling me there's more to be brought forward than what can be brought forward by this one alone. Yes, so please consider leaving in the comment section. Who would you like to have come through, connect with us? We've had many people request. I think Alan Watts was one that somebody requested. Stephen Hawking's came through another time. So please leave a note in the comment section about who you'd like us to bring through, and we'll communicate with them and see if they're willing to do a show with us. Um, yes, wonderful. I think we're good for today. Oh, wait a second. Question from Kathy. Take this question from Kathy. If I recite the Violet Flame mantra to my 2-year-old son, Grant, does it activate freedom within him since he cannot recite it yet? He's saying it is not, in the case of your grandson, it is not the words, but the understanding of the energy of those words, the the image of that energy will be far more beneficial to him than simply the words if you choose to use the incantation, which has its power and effect in time and space. But with this little one, he will feel the vibration of this energy. If you hold the energy of this flame, hold the energy of this so that he sees that the energy and the words go together. As this one develops his comprehension of language, he will also have use of the image, for it is the image that gives the word its manifestation. Yes. So yeah, so he doesn't understand the language, but he'll understand the image. So when you're doing the incantation, like literally, like visualize that violet fire, like hold a clear image of that energy. Master Saint Germain says you can call Saint Germain to stand by him, to stand by him, to activate it with you, because children can see what we can't see with our conditioned eyes. Children can see with their unconditioned eyes. So there's a very good chance that he'll see Master Saint Germain standing beside him as well, which will be very exciting for you when he responds to that, because then you get to glimpse through your grandson's eyes that that children are not bound by the conditioning that we are. We condition them to be bound by it, but there's a certain point in the process that they can see them, they can hear them, they can feel them all the time. And I cannot tell you how many people I've done readings for that always say as children they remember these beings being beside them and talking to them. They're with us all the time. They haven't left. They haven't gone away. They can be there in an instant, the minute you think of them. But we have to learn to rechange our perceptual apparatus to recall that ability again, to redevelop your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience. Children already have those senses intact. So yeah, bring in Master Saint Germain. Yes, he's saying bring me beside him. Bring me beside him. It's really cool. Thank you, Kathy. Um, oh, you're welcome. Question from Patricia. I drove my friend to work today, and on the radio, every station had nothing but talk about Eddie Van Halen passing and so much sadness. What's the best thing to say? you know, we are so attached as a species. We become so attached and addicted. Humanity has become addicted to this physical reality being reality. And so when we think something leaves, that's like me saying, okay, when these water molecules evaporate from this glass, there's no more water. That's not true. It's just changed its vibrational frequency of existence. So Eddie Van Halen is not transmuted. He's just left the physical medium of expression. That's all. There is no death. There is a transmutation of matter from one state to another, just as there's a transmutation in awareness from one state to another. You know, if if I have two radio sets in front of us right now, and they're both playing the same radio station, and I take a hammer and I smash one radio set to pieces, and now that radio can't play that station anymore, but the other one's still playing the signal's still there, just the mechanism is not functional. And it's no different when a physical body ceases to exist. The frequency of that person's awareness or consciousness still exists. They just lost the mechanism through the medium through which they express that consciousness. And your body that you're in is a unique frequency for who you are as a soul consciousness, which you change all the time. You change the frequency you were in as a child to when you're a teenager, to when you're an adult, to when you're a senior, to when you transit from the body, or when you even enter the body. These are changes in the frequency of your awareness that alters time, space, and matter into stations of what you are. So the whole idea of sadness is a ridiculous thing, in truth, because the reality is we have not lost Eddie Van Halen. He's merely moved to a different medium of expression that's non-physical. And this is true for every being that's ever transited through this biological process, right? And it's again, this body that I'm in is not who I am, but and this body will eventually cease to function, not because there's something wrong here, because my vibration changes, its usefulness, it's no longer in resonance or supports who I am as a being. So I change frequency. I have to change vehicles to match the vibrational frequency of who I am, and that happens to a lot of souls. They leave matter. They leave the frequency of one form and they go into the frequency of another. And hopefully, the frequency they go into and have left on is a positive one. People only fear death because because they have not got a lot of love in their heart. I'm telling you, if you've enjoyed your life, you're not going to fear death. You buy that. If you really enjoyed life and you understand life, then you'll know that life does not end because a physical form ceases to exist. Life still goes on, not just in this dimension, but in others. So yeah, I'm grateful. God bless that, Eddie. I have to have a chat with him. Yeah. No, he's not gone. He's not gone. None of them are gone. They're just at different frequencies of consciousness based upon the evolution of their soul through time, space, and matter. It changes. Like a pair of shoes. You don't wear the same pair of shoes you wore when you were 3 or 12. The size of your body changes. Well, the consciousness of your soul changes, and therefore the clothing that you wear changes according to your consciousness. The clothing that you'll be dressed in changes according to your consciousness. Remember that. And you won't have to worry about being afraid of death anymore. You won't have to get in that whole nonsense about being sad and unhappy about it, right? We are creator beings. Great consideration, Patricia. Thank you so much for that question. Um, wow. One more question here, and then we'll call it a day. Svanhild is asking, can I ask, please, are they free from the suffering they had on earth when they? Yes, absolutely. If you wear a pair of shoes and they're too tight, and this happens to my wife occasionally, she'll buy a brand new pair of shoes, and we'll go out for a walk, and the shoes haven't been worn enough, and it'll cause irritation on the foot. And so she'll have to change the shoe, and then she has to wear it carefully. So when you outgrow a shoe or a shoe changes or it's not worked in enough, you have to let it go, right? So when the body is used and worn and you've outgrown it, you have to leave. You can't fit into it anymore. And it's a natural process, and so many of us are conditioned to try and hold on and cling to this life like it's the only existence, and it's not. You know, science has been trying to find, is there an afterlife? Well, of course there's an afterlife. Of course there is. It's called continuance of life. There's no afterlife. It's a continuance. Nonsense of it ending when the body ceases to function is nonsense, right? Look at this body. I'm speaking words through this form, right? This body is articulating information that's stored in the brain that I've acquired from the five physical senses. I, on the other hand, am not the information. I am not the body. I'm the one utilizing the information, communicating through this form, as the many beings that work through me do as well. When you understand that, and when science develops the technology to actually perceive these different bandwidths of energy that are non-physical existences of states of being, this will all be corrected, and we will no longer fear death. but we'll also start to appreciate life because there is something about the life we have now that really needs to be uh, cultivated. And for each of us individually to reach a level of love and light and joy, as I think for me personally, what we all should be doing, experience the highest possibility of love. But no, there is no suffering when you give up if the shirt's too tight and you take it off, you feel better. You know, if somebody's dying from Alzheimer's or they're dying from cancer, when the form ceases to exist, they are liberated from it. They don't have to wait. They don't have to suffer. I mean, you could stop suffering too by altering the consciousness and the way it interacts with matter. But there's also different things on this dimension that I can't get into right now because it would take up a whole bunch of time. That would take us down rabbit holes. Yes, I understand that I'm not supposed to be going. The whole this concept that you are freedom is just that you are not bound by matter alone. You are, in effect, the consciousness that organizes and restructures matter with your thoughts and your emotions and your actions. You create things in this physical world by what you are being, what you are thinking, what you are feeling. And you are setting creations up that go beyond what you see with your senses, too. There's a realm of your consciousness beyond matter, but there's no suffering of in who you are as a being. There may be the perception of suffering from the perspective of the body, that when the body is physically hurt it will experience pain, but that's the body experiencing pain. You just happen to be in it experiencing the pain that the body's experiencing, right? But the body's not who you are. It's an instrument that you use to express. It's a material medium that we all express through, and when we're done with it we move on. When you have a car for too long, you get ready to get a new one. It's the same thing. It really is. Great question, Svanhild. Thank you so much. Wow. Yeah, it's so important we get to this realization that we are not the body. We are not the mind. We are the consciousness that animates it, right? And you are freedom. Remember that you are freedom. Um, and I want to thank Master Saint Germain for being present with us today and for extending the violet fire to all of us. You know, you understand that these higher dimensional beings, like our parents were to us, you know, our mums, our dads, our parents, the teachers, that gave us what they knew to raise us up from being a helpless little baby to being able to talk and have thoughts and ideas and be creative. You know, they are like that to us, and we need to learn to open up the higher wisdom, the higher knowledge of these beings to expand ourselves beyond the existing capabilities of what this world has given us, right? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world uh, when they'll lose his own soul to it, right? It was really saying the world is not the only place where you learn to define who you are from. Let that energy of love, that energy of light that is your creator, define you and what you'll do here. And I want to say thank you everybody for showing up today. Um, Much love to you all, and hopefully we'll see you guys on Friday at 10 a.m. on Shortcuts for Your Soul. And again, if you want to support this work, you can do so through donations to my PayPal account, which will be in a link on any of my YouTube videos. On the bottom of the videos, you'll see the link to my PayPal channel. You can also become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. And have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll see you next time around. Bye for now.